All right, welcome to the Fall Podcast, everybody out there today. It's a glorious day, and today Justin and I are by ourselves. We're just doing a little BS session, a little catch-up. I mean, you and I have talked a little bit on the phone lately, but you're getting ready to gear up and leave here soon. I mean, season's approaching fast, and I thought it'd be a good time to just bullshit with you a little bit and figure out what each other's plans are for this fall and what you got going on right now. So I guess, with that being said, I do need to know, though, like, give everybody an update, like, what's on the new farm? What's on trail cam right now?
Honestly, man, I don't know. I did one camera pull, and all the things I say about keeping it simple and being cheap, I think, is biting me in the ass. I have those Tasco cameras from Walmart. They were like $25 or whatever they were, and I put the cameras out, I guess it'd be almost 4 weeks ago now, and we went on vacation last week, so I did a card pull on the farm after 2 weeks of soaking, and there was 0 nighttime pictures, only daylight pictures, and there was like 600 pictures, does and fawns, and I had 2 small bucks on there, but something's happening, and I'm not getting any nighttime pictures, so I don't know. I'm not trying to get too worked up over it. I'm not going to stress out and try to dive into all that stuff. I put 2 more out there, so I got 4 now that have been out there for 2 weeks. 2 of them are a little better quality. I put a Bushnell camera and a covert camera out there on top of the 2 that were already there. So not only that, man, I got tore up by chiggers when I went out there to check them.
I was just thinking that too.
It was terrible.
I knew you were going to talk about the chiggers, and I would just laugh when.
Oh yeah, it was so terrible. Like obviously, if I know you have, but if anybody listening has never had to deal with chiggers, it's like invisible mosquitoes, but the bites last for like 2 weeks and they itch like crazy. Oh my god, it's so bad.
Put it this way: I would rather have ticks on me than chiggers.
Yeah. Well, you're not going to get sick from chiggers, but either way, it's not fun, and you don't feel them, you can't see them. All of a sudden, you just look like I had them all between my knuckles, like in the webbing of my fingers, my waistband, like, and that's where they typically end up, is like in your waistband, like where your underwear meets like your pants. You know, they just, for some reason, that's just where they fall. But I didn't spray down. I just was like, I'm going to go in quick and pull these cards. I took my computer in and I just dumped the cards and formatted them and put them back in and got the heck out of there. And between no pictures and getting chewed up, like, I was just like, screw this place. I don't care anymore. And man,
that's a terrible trip right there, because you're pissed the whole way back home. If you had looked at your cameras, you know, and you're like, I'm just a disaster. I had the same thing hit me yesterday, but it wasn't chiggers. I'm pretty sure I have poison ivy from head to toe.
Oh, did you weed whip some more poison ivy?
I didn't weed whip it, but it's that same plot from last year. And I went in there because we got rain coming in a couple days, so I needed to plant the food plot, which, by the way, I sent you the pictures of the Border Patrol that we did. I mean, it's stupid high right now. But I went in there, and it was 80 degrees yesterday with a good breeze. It wasn't like unbearable hot by any means. So I'm like, I'm going to go in there and get this done, be quick with it. I wanted to put a cell cam in there, and I've been wanting to put this little water hole in there. So I went in there and dug the water hole. By the time I was done digging that water hole, I thought I was going to pass out. Like, I thought I was going to have heat exhaustion, and then I'm trying to film, and which I told you after I get it back here in the edit bay, all my vlogs, the preset, something every time, you know, on the A7, you know, when our presets on preset 3 is for when we're doing our pictures, and then you go back to preset 1. Well, every time I'd switch back and forth from pictures to video, it would reset the focal point. And when I was watching it back, it looked like it was in focus. Come back here, out of focus. So I got to go redo it.
Oh, man,
just a rookie move, man.
Well, I don't know. Welcome to the world of self-filming. Like, especially on the R series and the S series, you can't see yourself. There's no way to know.
Nope. Yep.
The screen doesn't flip around. However, the A7S III that's getting released in October, by the sounds of it, does flip. Does flip. Oh yeah.
Yep. That's fun, and it's 4K and 120, right?
Yeah. I think it does.
So that'll be nice.
And I think it'll do 6K 30 full frame.
I believe so.
But
I was reading some reviews on it and everything.
I already ordered the R5, so I'm trying not to pay attention to that.
So you can't keep up with it, man. It's like you buy one and like a couple months later another one comes out. It's like, what the hell?
Well, yeah, and I guess in this case it's a little different just because it's been so long since the A7S II. You know, it's A7S II was a standard and still will be, I think, for a long time, but
it's a great camera still.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it's, I don't know, I was trying to buy my time and I wanted to get that A7S III, but Canon came out first with the R5 and it was available, and that does 8K RAW, 4K 120. It's a 45 megapixel full frame sensor. And I know it'll last a long time, and it's going to be a really good all around camera to do anything with the Canon color profile. So I don't regret it.
You got Canon color.
Yeah, it's just a little more expensive than the A7S III, but I don't know. And the thing is, I don't even know when I'm going to get it. I pre-ordered it from B&H, and they shipped me the lens, but no body because it's not in store yet. I'm like, well, that's a little bit of a tease, but all right.
Yep.
But yeah, that's...
Well, that kind of makes me think about this year and what my plans that I want to do this year. So I've been doing a lot of work on the main farm, my 1 acre farm, and everything's dialed, set, ready to go. I got the food plot planted, cameras are out, stands. I do have some presets out there. And the reason why I'm going to do presets out there is because it's so small, which it's so small, and I just want to be able to get in there. But this year, my biggest change, after talking to Justin Hollinsworth, he really kind of opened up my eyes, and kind of, talking to you over the last couple of years, getting mobile. We talked about it this winter, in the spring, getting mobile. So my family farm is a lot bigger, 215 acres. And I think, after talking to him and you and stuff like that, and hunting those, what he calls the edge winds and everything like that, I mean, he opened my eyes to like just kind of taking a different approach this year and getting a little more aggressive. And the more and more I listen to his stuff, like on different podcasts and kind of talking to him through text and all that stuff, like, getting aggressive. He's under the understanding, like, if he sees a deer do something one time, he moves in if he needs to move. Like, he's not going to let him do it twice without an arrow in it. So I kind of taken that approach, and you've even been telling me that as well, like, get aggressive and kind of do something a little different. But also I'm thinking, like, I think I might do a lot of self-filming this year, just because, I mean, if I can get a guy to come with me, great, but I might do some self-filming and try to probably going to kick myself right square in the ass, but I think I'm going to try it.
Yeah, it's doable, and like that's what I do, but I do it because I don't really have a choice. Like, my wife doesn't know how to run a camera, unless I put it in full auto, and even then it's just, how it is when you hunt with somebody who films and you guys just click, you're on the same page. Like, the camera guy,
you don't have to worry about that person,
right? And you guys are you're in sync. And it's one thing if you're going to be moving, if you're going to be mobile, packing stands and camera gear. I mean, I didn't make it till about November 10th, and I was like, screw this, I'm done. And then every time I would go to hunt, I was just like, I can't leave it behind. I have to do it, and it's just, it's a blessing and a curse to know you can pull it off, but I don't know.
Well, what I think I might do is my setup. So I've got the Muddy arm. That's like the smallest arm you can get from Muddy. I think, what is it, the Outfitter arm or something like that? Yeah. It's pretty light, but I am interested about the Lone Wolf camera arm that they have, the custom gear. What's it called?
I saw that.
The pocket arm.
Yep, I saw that.
So the pocket arm, might be something I might look into as well, because that thing is designed awesome. And the camera I think I'm going to run for self-filming is I think I'm going to do, an A7, whether it's the A7S II or the A7R, one of them. And I think I'm just going to roll shotgun mic with a 24 to 105 on it, I think. And then for my second angle, I'm just going to roll GoPro, I think. And then, just be light and dirty with it. And I think that's how I'm going to do it, honestly. And just whatever I can do, I'm going to do the best I can. Whatever I can do, Yeah,
and that's the best thing I can tell you is just keep it simple. I mean, that. I'm not telling you anything you haven't already thought of, but it's ditch the wireless, keep the camera light, carry less batteries, and GoPro all the way. 100%.
Yep. Yeah, I've been watching a lot of the Whitetail Addiction stuff that they're rolling out right now. That Byron Horton
that too.
And Byron Horton, we had him on the podcast, solid dude, and then Justin Hollinsworth. So they're the producers of it. I've been watching a lot of their stuff, and it just gets me fired up right now. You know what I mean? Like I'll sit down at night, laying in bed, and I'm like, I'm gonna throw some stuff on my phone, and I just get down a rabbit hole and just watch the shit out of it, and I get fired up.
I did the same thing. I watched all the Full Draw Film Tour submissions this week. They all got released this week, 2 at a time. So I was up till 12:30 every night watching those. I'd go to bed at 10, and I'd sit there and watch those every day. And then, today's August 1st. We're recording on Saturday, but Chasing November came out today. I don't know if you know that.
I saw that. Yep, I haven't seen the episode, but I saw that it was released today.
Yeah, I think they put out 12 of the episodes. If I had to guess, there's 24. That's usually what they do, is half and half. But
okay.
It's on the Realtree 365 app. It's free to download. And then I think they're all at YouTube on the 8th of August. So
I gotcha.
I watched one episode, and Josh did a good job. I mean, he always does a good job, but it's it's cool to watch those, kind of knowing who everybody is and knowing I used to be there, but still a great series.
I've honestly been going back and watching, like when Aaron Warburton and Zach Farrenball and all those guys were at Midwest Whitetail, like back when they were hunting the buck nests and everything. I've been watching a couple of those. Those are fun to watch too. Yeah,
they are for sure. It's Greg edited all those. Greg Clements, and I don't know if you've been watching their social at all, but they've been doing a lot of throwback hunts lately. Like they pulled a bunch of Greg's old DVDs out from when he was just a pup, and they brought back some really old stuff. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I guess, today, like I said, we're just literally just bullshitting. Everybody's probably turned us off by now, but we're going to keep this short and just kind of a little catch-up episode. But what you're leaving on the 12th, so you're leaving here soon for your first hunt, but what is your hunting schedule looking like, for this fall, like starting here, this month?
Oh man, I don't know what happened, but it's like I blinked and all of a sudden I have hunts all the way to January right now. So as I've mentioned in the past, I drew 3 mule deer tags. So the first one is in Utah, and that's what I'm leaving for on the 12th. So I'll be out there for 9 full days of hunting. I'm going out 2 days early. The season starts on the 15th, so I'm flying out on the 12th, meeting another guy, and we're scouting the 13th and 14th. We're going to hunt from the 15th through the 23rd, and then I come home on the 24th. That's August. And then I'm home for 2.5 weeks, and I'm going to Colorado September 9th for an elk hunt. A buddy from high school was like, hey, what are my options for elk this year? And this was only like 2 weeks ago, so I was like, Colorado, that's about it. And he's like, send me the details. And next thing you know, he's sending me his flight itinerary, and he booked his flights, and we're going elk hunting. So I'm going to be going, we're going to be in Colorado I'm going on the 8th. I'm going to get there on the 9th, I think, set up camp, and I'm going to try to hunt and scout for a couple of days before he gets there. I pick him up in Denver on September 12th. I go back to Denver the night of the 17th, he flies home on the 18th, and I actually got a trip to Alaska. I got a goat hunt on Kodiak Island. I'm going to go film. That's going to be from September 19th to the 28th. So I come back at the end of September. Right now, October is a clean slate. I got nothing in October, but obviously that starts whitetail season for us here. And then going into November, if I haven't got a deer killed in Iowa, it'll happen then. I plan to hunt Wisconsin again, and then my second mule deer hunt will be at the end of November, right around Thanksgiving in South Dakota. December is going to be a lot of waterfowl. I'm going to dabble into the waterfowl scene again this year, and I guess you could say I dabbled last year. I'm going to dive into it this year. So we'll be in Arkansas quite a bit probably in December. I got a project I'm working on. I haven't told you about that yet, but project we're going to work on with a guy in Arkansas. And then January, the first week of January, is my last mule deer hunt in New Mexico. So Allie and I are going to go for New Year's Eve, and then my hunt starts on January 1st.
Yeah, you're going to be busy.
Yeah, I know. And I gotta find some way in there to keep some bankroll going throughout all that. So.
I was gonna say, I don't know how the hell you're gonna swing that, but
I don't either. I'm paying as much as I can ahead right now. Like, I've got mortgage socked away to get me into December, and as long as we just keep up on the utilities and stuff, there's no other travel. So, which I don't mean to sound like we're struggling. It's just thinking that far ahead. It's hard to make sure I tell myself, hey, there's still things to pay for.
Right. Yep. Well, being that busy too, it's kind of easy to forget stuff too. You know, you're going to be on the road, and so I totally get that. Well, so, you got a full slate. I mean, I've kind of got a full slate, but not near as what you've got. But I don't know. I got a couple goals this year. I mean, last year I hunted Kansas and Iowa, and I hardly hunted Michigan at all. Like, I honestly, looking back at it, don't even feel like I had a finger on the pulse of what was going on in Michigan. I mean, my family farm, I never hunted it one time last year. It was the first time ever since I was 12 that I've never hunted it in the fall, ever. Yeah. You know, so
I remember that conversation.
Yeah. But, so this year, obviously going to be filming a lot. We're going to go, it sounds like we're going to Colorado for an elk hunt end of August so around August 28th to probably around the 10th or 12th of September, probably come home. That will be finalized next week if we are going or not. It's pretty solid right now that we're going. Nice. I'll be filming, but doing that for Humanimal, and then come home. Casey is going to Ohio is going to be his main focus this year for whitetail for archery season. So Ohio starts, I think it's like the last Saturday in September, I believe, something like that. It's like, you know, it falls on different days every year, like the 28th, and then sometimes it might be like the 1st of October. So I can't remember when that is, but he wants to go down there and try to kill one on the lease early. And then, honestly, my tags this year are going to be Michigan and Kansas gun, and I'm going to try to put some time in here in Michigan. I really want to kill a Michigan buck. I haven't killed one in Michigan since 2017, and then I shot Jim Abbott in 18. But I would really like to go after some deer here. Now, the 1 acre farm it's kind of weird, man. There's been all these windmills going up all over the one. I mean, they're all around the 1 acre farm, and they've been putting lines in underground all over the 1 acre farm. So like the deer on camera, there's like hardly any deer. And then I go and, you know, glass, and you don't see the deer that you normally do glassing. But I do have the pulse on one buck. That's he'll be good. I mean, he'll be right around Pope and Young to 130s, an 8-pointer. Have no idea hit pattern right now. I know it's going to change, but I don't have him on camera, but I've seen him with my eyes, you know, eating the beans. So kind of little weird on that end. But on the flip side, my family farm, and the reason why I'm going to say this is because everybody and their brother knows about them already. But so my family farm, it's 215 acres, and then the main road that goes by it is our big hayfield. So, and there's deer, jam up in that every night right now. Every night. So you go up there in glass and you'll see 60, 80 deer a night, and there's 2 bucks up there that are slammers. One's probably right at 140 right now.
Dang.
And the other one's like right behind him. Yeah. So it's kind of funny. You go up there in glass and you'll see 4 or 5 different vehicles on the road just stopped, and they're just glassing and just watching the deer. So I've kind of made it a goal to go after one of those bucks. Have no idea if they're going to stick around. They usually don't, but we'll see. And I'm going to name him the deer that I'll never kill. That's gonna be the storyline. So I'm gonna film some stuff around that deer for Humanimal. So he'll be named the deer that I'll never kill.
I think you should just throw that out the window and call him Epstein, because obviously he's not going to kill himself.
Oh, I could call him Epstein. That's a pretty good one there. I should do that. So I guess working title.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, he's a big deer. I haven't went up there and glassed him in a little while, but either this weekend or this week I'm gonna go up there and try to get some more footage of him. I got some footage of him a couple weeks ago, and he was good. He's a 10 point. He was probably right at like 120 when I filmed him before, but now he's big. He's real big.
Nice.
So
awesome. That's real. That's
going to be the plan,
guys.
And then obviously, what's that?
So that's real big for you guys.
Yeah, hell, if it's 120 or 125 and he's a 3-year-old, he's for me.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
But no, and then December we have Kansas Gun, which I've already told you I can't wait for that. It's gonna be a fun trip.
That's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna have to keep a bead on you in Colorado, because I'm gonna be getting there right when you guys leave. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, honestly. What's that?
So it's gonna be interesting because I don't know. We had a conversation a few weeks ago about the moon guide, and I brought up the elk hunt, but I've never paid enough attention to that, like to actually what happens with deer, or with whitetail, or with elk, or any animal for that matter. But to know that there is an obvious traceable effect. You guys are going to be there the week before the full moon. I'm going to be there the week after. So I'm interested to see what happens with you guys versus us, and if that stuff holds true.
That will be interesting. I can't remember what area we're going in, but we might have to talk and see if we're going to be around the same area. Maybe meet up or something as I'm coming out and you're going in or something. I can't remember. I think Casey's got to fly back on the 9th, and I have to be back on the 12th, so it might be one of those things that I might just go with him. And then Keegan and Adam and Lee might stick around for a couple more days if they haven't killed. But that moon thing is really intriguing because, when we were talking to Hollinsworth, he was talking about how, for whitetail anyway, the 4 days leading up to the full moon, what did he say? The evening movement is really good, and then the 4 days after, the morning movement is really good. So I'm wondering if, like you said, if there's any correlation.
Yeah, and that's what I want to. I've got notes right here sitting next to me right now from that conversation on that stuff, because I think on a hunt like this, when you've only got a limited amount of time to be, to maximize your potential for success, you always want every factor in your favor, but when you give yourself a time frame to operate in, it just becomes even that much more important. And honestly, I don't know that stuff is, fact, but I am going to be paying attention to it and see if it holds up.
For sure. And, we had talked about getting him on to talk more about the moon. I wonder if we should do that right here before you leave. Just say, hey, let's get back on another podcast. And maybe I might reach out to him and say, let's get on and do that. He'll probably do it. He'll probably do it. I want to pick his brain about that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
it's
I do
something
too.
you and I talk about it all fall, because I usually get a moon guide, and, we'll text back and forth almost daily, like, hey, what's the moon doing here? Like, what's it say? I watch it, but I really guess I don't. It's one of those things that I look at, but then I feel like it just kind of flies out the back window. Like, you
Right.
know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm here to hunt anyway. I'm gonna go hunt anyway. You know what I'm saying? So
Yep.
I don't know.
Absolutely. I'm just typing it in. I'm almost positive it's. Yeah, you can get it as an app now. You don't got to go buy the wheel, the dial. There's a.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm sure you
Well,
got
I
to
do
pay
know-
for it. There's a free download, but I bet you. I'm doing it right now. Sorry. I bet you there's a point
Well,
where you
I
have
do-
to pay something.
Yeah, I'm sure there is. I do know that I was looking at, actually last night, I was looking at like when the full moon's going to hit this year in the fall. I'm pretty sure it's going to be October 1st. So what Hollinsworth says, I think I'm going to kind of like do that. Like he said, the 4 days after the full moon, the morning movement's crazy. So I think those first, week of season, I might hunt some mornings for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And it's. If I don't have it on my calendar, but if it is October 1st, that would be. If there's some crazy cold front that blows through that early, then
Oh, man.
it's going to be lights out.
Yes, I agree. Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited about that. Like I said, I want to do the mobile thing. I've just got to force myself to do it, and just like I think if I do it like light, like you said, don't make it harder than it needs to be, and I think I'll have a lot of fun with it.
That and then I'm going to say it this way: you have to lower your expectations for yourself as far as what you're going to see in video quality.
Oh yep. No, I agree.
And I don't mean like half-ass it, but just there's going to be limitations that you're going to run into that are going to be like, well, that sucks. That's a shitty shot, or that's not framed in the left third, or whatever. Like you just got to roll with it. Film it all in 4K so you can crop it, and that's it. That's all.
For sure.
That's my best advice.
No, I agree, and I got some ideas for. We can get into it later, but I got some ideas for like a pack and lighter pack and way to pack everything. So I've been kind of messing around with it and trying to figure something out, but I don't know.
Yeah,
that's kind of where I'm at though for this year and my plans going forward. And I might try to get a different tag. I was thinking about hunting Indiana this year. That still might happen. Sure. It'll be like a last minute deal though. Like I got some time. I've already tagged out. Like let's run down there. I'm actually really excited to really try to put some time in here in Michigan this year.
Yeah. No, that'd be, especially if not having killed a deer there in so long. Like, I feel like if you do have time to do something, you're just going to dive into that family farm.
Yep.
That's just my guess
to
your free time.
Right, and that's the thing. Like, the more and more I talk or hear about guys, just staying aggressive and doing that. Like I have limited time to hunt, so it's like the times I do, I'm sick of like not hunting because it's like a certain wind. Like being mobile, like everybody says it. I sound like a broken record, but like now you have time, go and do it. Figure it out and just jump in. So that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, that's me. It's like I can just go for an afternoon hunt if I, drive down to public land or go to that 40 and just see what happens. But I'm putting so much more effort into the out-of-state hunts this year just because they're so new for me. Like obviously Alaska and an elk hunt and the New Mexico one. It's like I've got a lot of money already out in those things because I'll admit it. That's the New Mexico one's an outfitter hunt. Like I drew a tag through an outfitter, so I'm paying for that. But if I'm gonna need a substantial investment into gear for Kodiak before September. So it's like I'm not going nuts on whitetails. Like I don't know. I know I can go to public land or that 40 and I'll find something. I don't know what it's going to be yet, but just keep it low pressure and go do what you can do, and whatever happens.
Yeah, I don't blame you at all. I mean, you've got some honestly, a couple hunts that are once in a lifetime deal, So,
Yeah.
I mean, put your time in and figure it out and do what you got to do. The whitetails will always be there.
Yeah, exactly. We talked about a few weeks ago, like, does it feel the same to live in Iowa as it would if you were a non-resident, anticipating hunting it once every 5 years? And I hate to discredit where I'm at, and like I said, I don't take it for granted, but it's like, I live in Iowa, I'm a deer guy, and I would still rather put my resources into going somewhere else for a different animal.
Yep.
It's weird.
Do you think that's because you got bit by the elk bug, and you're closer though out there to, like, instead of being like in New York where your drive could be 26 hours?
Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with it. It's more accessible. Like, I'm only 9 hours from Denver, from my driveway to Denver. I could be there in 9 hours. It's a chip shot compared to some of the stuff I've driven, but to me, it's like, okay, that's easy. And it's an over-the-counter tag for $600. Why not? Okay, we can make that happen. But it's like, I've got that 40, and I'm not saying I'm not doing the work there, but it's like, there's other people that are going to hunt it come gun season, so it's like, I'm not going to go nuts in there. And I honestly don't want to do a lot to the property because I want to see how the deer are using it the way it is.
For sure. Yep.
I don't know, man. I'm doing stuff right now that I know I never had the availability for before, which is, the mule deer stuff. And it's a lot of it's because it's closer. You're right. So.
Yeah, because that's, me in Michigan. Now, I'm not saying I don't ever want to go on an elk hunt to hunt an elk. I do, but I don't have that burning desire right now. And to be totally honest with you, a lot of it is because of travel. Like, I'm just not, like, big on just making a big travel right now. And honestly, the whitetails, the burn for whitetails in me is just so deep that I just really don't want to do anything else.
Yeah, no, I get that. This is going to sound like a crazy analogy, but it's like when you shoot your bow at 60 and you can get, a 4-inch group, you walk up to 30 and it's just like you can shoot 12s every time. To me, that's like, do the other stuff and come back to whitetail, and it's like the whitetail is the 30-yard shot. I don't want to say it's easy. To me, whitetails is a little more mental game. The other stuff is a little more, I don't want to say physical. Like, I'm not trying to say, like, if you don't hunt elk, you're a pussy, but it's different, different style of hunt, So I don't know. It bridges the gap, between the.
No, right. But the whitetail it's more convenient though, because, I mean, there's whitetail everywhere. Yeah. I mean, you could hunt whitetail 5 minutes from your house. You can't hunt elk.
Right.
Or mule deer. So it's more convenient as well. There's nothing wrong with that.
And I'll tell you what, I'm taking 2 tree stands and a set of sticks out with me to Colorado, because if we find a wallow or something and, we can slow play it. If it's 90 degrees out, you better believe I'm putting a lone wolf, 35 feet up, and I'm going to sit there all day.
Hell yeah. I like that. Do like the firebull, Eric Chesser, when he shot the firebull.
Yeah, he shot him on the ground, though. But he
had a blind, though. I mean, he built his own blind, so that was kind of cool. He just kept going back there.
Yep.
Kind of the same thing.
Yeah, and I don't have as much time as he did to do that, but I'm not throwing anything out the window for that. I'll put it that way.
For sure. Definitely, man. Well, I mean, we said we wanted to be at a half hour. We're at 34 minutes. I say we wrap this thing up. It's Saturday. I know you got things to do. I got things to do. So,
all right,
let's wrap it up.
I'm gonna say no. We're not wrapping it up just yet.
Okay.
You said I have things to do, and I honestly just got done doing the one thing I've been trying to do for the last month and a half, which was get my freaking bow sighted in. We just talked about all these badass hunts and all these plans I have, and here I am 12 days away from going on the first one, and I just finally today figured out what sight tape to put on my brand new bow to where it all works and makes sense and hits where it's supposed to.
Well, in your defense, though, I'm not going to lie, these directions that you got were a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
Like, this was not like, oh, this was not, I mean, this is ridiculous. So you can get into the story here and talk about it, because this is quite ridiculous.
All right. I'll try to keep the short version, stay on track with the short version of this. But so I went with the CBE Engage Hybrid 3-pin sight. So if you don't know what that looks like, or what it's designed to do, it's a 3-pin slider. So what you do is basically sight your 3 pins, at whatever distance you want them to be set, as if it was a fixed pin. I did 20, 30, and 40 on mine. Now what you're supposed to do is, once those pins are set to 20, 30, 40, you make a little mark on the slider, like there's a clean white tape, and you make a little mark, and that's your home position. And what you're supposed to do is work your way back to 60 using, and this is where it starts to get really messy, but the directions it comes with says to use your 30-yard pin, your 40-yard pin, which in that case is the bottom one of the 3. Go all the way back to 60 until you can zero that bottom pin in, and you're hitting at 60. Now, and you're using the like the gang adjustment. So you're moving the needle down. You're not micro adjusting the pins. You're just moving the slider down. So the whole scope is moving. You get that to 60, and you make another mark. And this whole time you're using the bottom pin. Make another mark, and there's this little gauge tool that comes with it. And all you do is you line up the 30-yard mark that you made on that white tape with the 30-yard mark on this gauge. Like that's kind of the point that you're pulling from, so to speak. And then below that 30, there's other little hash marks that correspond to one of 15 different sight tapes. So you hold the mark on 30 on the gauge, and then wherever your other line falls, say it falls on 6, you're supposed to use sight tape number 6. So I'm like, okay, that's easy enough. Throw it on there, and I throw tape 6 on, and instead of the needle falling on a 60-yard shot, instead it was at like 87. I'm like, well, that ain't right. So, and this started an entire fucking debacle where I was moving the scope housing, like I was changing the gang adjustments, like I was repositioning all the different parts on the site, like trying to like just think about it, frontwards, forwards, backwards, and upside down, and it just never made sense. It never worked out. I watched every video I could find on YouTube, and last week before I went on vacation, a video popped up in my suggested videos on YouTube, and somebody else had uploaded a new video about this site, and he said he had the same exact problem. He emailed CBE, and they sent him a completely different set of instructions. It's like a 10-step process that they sent him versus the 3-step process that comes with the site. So, long story short, I got it dialed today, and I guess the right way to do it is set your pins to 20, 30, 40, like I did. Work your way back to 60, but instead of using the bottom pin, use the middle pin. So you're using the pin that, when it's set to home, is a 30-yard pin. Use that out at 60. Make your mark, do the gauge thing again. Put the tape it tells you, put that on there. But then you have to roll it all the way back up to the home position, and then loosen the screw for the needle, like the indicator needle on the slider, and then zero that pin at 40 yards. And now that means, and I don't mean zero, but like you're sliding the indicator needle to 40 after you've already chosen the correct tape, after you've already shot it all these times. Because all that does is assign what pin is your floater. I mean, it makes sense now that it's all done, but I couldn't wrap my brain around it.
It's so confusing, though.
Oh my God, is it? So long story short here, I didn't have enough room to slide the indicator needle to 40 to make my bottom pin the floater, so I just slid it up to 20. And it still shoots perfectly fine. When it's at the home position, my pins are still set to 20, 30, 40, but now my floater is my top pin instead of the bottom, which is what I wanted in the first place. So it's all good now.
So I guess what Justin's saying is, if anybody out there has a CBE or a Garmin, or a Garmin,
Yeah, or the Garmin.
No, but if you have a CBE engaged site, get a hold of Justin to figure it out. That's what he's saying.
Yeah, exactly.
You've been working on this thing for over a month.
Yeah, I really have, and I've read forums about it. I've watched all the videos. I could not figure it out. Like I'm not a dumbass, but I'll tell you what, it made me feel like one. Like
made me feel like one too when you called me and I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, you even put one of your buddies on the phone, and we had, a 3-way call going, and he shoots the site, and he's like, I don't know, man, I ended up just making my own out of a sticky note. And I'm like, I refuse to do that. I paid $300 for this site, and I'm not going to just fucking piecemeal it together with a sticky note and duct tape.
He bought it last year, going into last year's season, and same thing. He calls me, and he's like, dude, I can't figure this site out. Like, I feel so dumb. He brings it over. Him and I try all night. Hotter than hell outside, sweating our bags off.
Yep.
Hotter than hell. Can't figure it out. Finally, he did the same thing you did, looking all over, but he couldn't find, tried to call CBE. They wouldn't answer, or he'd be on hold forever.
Yep, same problem.
And he ended up taking a sticky note, cutting it in half, and making his own marks and just citing every pin in that way.
Dude, I was so dumbfounded, and I was just like, I don't know. I just refused to, to piecemeal it together like that. Like, I know there's a way to do this, and I finally found this guy. Like, I'm going to make another video out of it just because of the number of views that those videos get. I think people, I bet you someone searches for that video every single day.
Guarantee it. Probably.
I'm going to make a video on it just for my analytics and say, hey, here's...
Literally, all you need to do is just grab your bow at the site and just do what you did for the last 8 minutes and just talk about it and say, hey, do this.
Yes. Do this. And if all else fails, if this is too complicated, just go buy a spot hog.
Yeah. There you go.
Anyway,
I don't disagree.
That's my story for the day. That's my moment of relief. So now we can wrap it up.
Speaking of sighting bows, I need to go finish sighting mine in, so I should probably go do that.
Yeah, well, now I got to just refletch all my arrows because every one of them has ripped fletchings from where, like if you got a good tight group, like one arrow would go through the fletching of a previous arrow. Oh, yeah, so it's...
Yep. Or you'd miss, or the fletching would get dirty, so you need to wash it or replace it. It's been there.
Yeah, mine are all ripped. I was sighting it with 8 arrows for the last month, and every one of them has a rip or a tear or is peeling, and I don't know. I got half of mine to say screw it and just run it, but...
It's going to feel good, though, when you kill a big bull elk, so...
Yeah, I'm going to start with a big velvet mule deer.
Yeah, that too. That'll be fun. I can't wait. You're going to have some crazy stories coming out of the next couple months, so I can't wait to do those podcasts.
Yeah, we might have to roll them all out in, October, but we'll get to it.
Yep, for sure. Well, good deal, man. Let's wrap this baby up, and, everybody out there, thank you for all the support and downloads. I haven't said it in a couple weeks, but go to iTunes, leave a review, leave a rating. Appreciate it. Don't forget, Justin still has a YouTube channel as well, so go ahead and watch those videos, subscribe. Same way with our Humanimal YouTube channel. If you guys are getting ready, we're talking about watching stuff on YouTube, getting us ready. We got a lot of cool whitetail content over there as well, so go check that out. Yep. And that's about it, man. Let's wrap this baby up.
All right, sounds good. We'll talk to you.